NFL record for the worst completion percentage.
This is a game you need to win.
This is a divisional matchup against a team you should beat. This is how you stack up wins.
Hello and welcome back to episode 69 of i75Live.
69, baby.
Nice.
The year Mr. Chris was born
Yeah.
in 1969.
Is that why that's a
It's
significant
also a
number?
Brian Adams song.
You
Summer
can
of
do
69.
the
Summer of
math
19.
to how old he is over there. But yes, no, thank you for joining us on another episode. We had another great week of comments. And
We did.
We had a lot of good conversations about the college football playoffs, of how many different ways you can look at it. And it just really goes to, no one talks about like NFL playoffs and MLB playoffs and NBA, like any of the big sport playoffs. No one, you can't do this. This is the only sport you can do it in.
Yep. It's because, it's a foregone conclusion who's going to make it.
Yes.
College football is the only sport where an outside source decides who makes it every year. And that's, it's stupid, but it's definitely something to talk about every year. And I've seen more and more people talk about, just Alabama making it in as a 3-win team. Even, say what you want about Notre Dame. 3-loss team, yeah. Say what you want about Notre Dame. Say what you want about Vandy. Say what you want about Texas. I think Texas and Notre Dame probably have the better cases that probably should have been in over Alabama after watching how that happened and with them choking to Oklahoma.
Maybe they flipped
earlier
a
in the
coin
year.
and maybe Trump flipped the coin. That's how Alabama
Well,
got
the
in.
funny part,
That coin didn't flip if it was Trump.
The funny part, though, is you can, depending on who you talk to and depending on how you articulate your argument, you can make a good case for all three of those teams.
Yep.
And that's the part to me where it's like, okay, this is why I say there's no structure, there's no
Wild West.
It comes down to interpretation of who you're talking to, of who gets in.
Yep.
And that's the shitty part, in my opinion. But no, we had a lot of great conversations, a lot of people going back and forth.
Good week of football, too.
And we've always said we will respect that at different opinions when people want to actually have a conversation about it, not just, you guys are really stupid.
They need to make podcast equipment more expensive.
It just, let's see your podcast.
Even if the
then.
prices went up, we already have it.
If you think that you're so good at talking about sports and people care about your opinion, then let's hear, what's the name of your show.
We'll have you on the show. We will invite a
We'll
guest on the
personally
show.
invite you. Yes.
State your case.
But no, it was a great week. I know this week we've got a ton of games coming up. Montana Grizzlies won. They are
It's
in
a rematch,
the,
right?
they are in
Montana
the,
State.
baby.
the
Brawl
semifinals.
2.0.
It's it's at Montana State. They play
Their
at
stadium
4
sucks,
o'clock.
too.
They play at 4 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
So they will. That is
before the
It's on my birthday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It is on
baby.
his birthday. Yes.
So we're
it
going
is.
to have a little party.
So yeah, that will be fun to watch because it's always kind of fun to watch them, especially when they're good. But before we get into the rest of the NFL questions and everything this week, I will let Dylan take our sponsor.
So before we get into our sponsor, make sure you guys leave a like on the video, drop some comments, follow our social media pages, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of the support. And yes, like Dawson said, it was a great week of clips, comments, conversations. But without further ado, this episode is sponsored by CutBet. CutBet is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that allows its users to wager directly with other users on any publicly verifiable result in sports, entertainment, politics, and more. Sign up today using code i75Live and stay tuned later in the show for our Cut Bet of the Week. And to be fully transparent, we do not have a Cut Bet of the Week yet, so I will be looking at it during the show. we will have one.
We also
by the
did
end
win
of this.
last week. We
did
finally
win.
broke the losing streak. It's
about damn time.
We had the over for the Rams-Lions
Yeah,
game,
Rams-Lions.
and that was a very entertaining, high
that was a
scoring, lot of yard game. So that was good to see.
Finally called that one.
But to get into NFL questions after Week 15, we'll start with my team. And I think I texted you before, and I said, hey, this is the most excited I've been for a game in a long time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it started so good.
Oh,
Until it
Dawson's
wasn't
getting
good.
a taste of what it
You mean
feels
the
like to
first
be a
half,
Bears
the
fan.
tale of
No,
two
you know what I
halves.
got a taste of? I got a taste of what the Super Bowl felt like for Falcons.
Oh.
I think Buffalo fans have been a little annoying towards the whole thing. Like, they are treating this like it's their Super Bowl. And I also think the national media is also, we're forgetting that we beat the Bills earlier in the season.
In Buffalo.
Did you
In
feel
Buffalo.
like the announcers though were on the Bills' side? I mean, for real, I did.
I thought it was pretty even. I think JJ Watt does a good job, and but my thing is, I just even after the game and some of what people are saying and the national media and I just want to. We split with them. You know that, right? Like we split with the Bills. We beat them at home, and I texted you this. I said chances are we're going to have to play them in the playoffs one way or another.
The way it's shaping up, yeah.
And it will be extremely hard to beat the same team 3 times in a row. So that's kind of how I was viewing it. I was viewing a little bit bigger picture of we're going to probably have to play them again.
Yep.
But it was a little. It felt. I don't know the exact word, but we didn't have that just instinct to put away a team that. They've been a second half team the whole year. We knew that going in. We built a lead.
Yeah.
Running the ball great. And it just seemed like in the second half we were playing not to lose. And my classic saying is when you play not to lose,
You lose.
you lose. It always comes back to bite you. And this is why, people who make fun of the Lions for always scoring a ton of points and running up the score. I don't care. Like, it's an NFL team. You never know. And you mean, I would rather score an extra 14 points and people are going to say, oh, that was wrong and that was this and that was disrespectful than have this happen.
Well, it has been also, that has been one of the tropes with Vrabel. It happened on the Titans. They blew quite a few late leads, especially in the playoffs. And there were more than a few instances where they had a game won. And it's like, I don't know if it's Vrabel being the defensive guy. Maybe it is kind of that. Obviously I'm not speaking as if I know, but it has been a common theme, and I hope that it's not going to start being a trend with the Patriots. I don't think it will be because I feel like you've got the right culture around you guys, and you'll learn from this. Better it happened in week 15 than in round 1 or 2 of the playoffs. Yeah. That would sting even more. That would suck.
I agree. And, I think we're also forgetting that this team was also on a 10-game win streak for the most part. And that's
all win streaks come to an end unless you're the Broncos.
And I'd rather it come to an end now, like you said, learn from this, feel how it feels to lose again before going into the playoffs and some important games.
Remember this is why I was not mad we lost to the Packers the way we did.
I completely agree with you. Now, to say that it does suck though the way we lost of that lead we had, I think Henderson everyone has been saying it for weeks,
just give
for
him
months,
RB1
just
role.
give him the ball, and we're finally seeing it. Those 2 runs were great. I thought Drake May played fine.
Let me ask you about that second run. So, did you go to the Christmas tree and start looking for which one was the Drake May jersey so that you could open it up? The second you saw Drake May reach 20 miles per hour, 60 yards downfield to lay a block, that did end up letting Henderson score.
Yeah,
he scored because of that block.
It was pretty. In the moment, you were like, "Is that him running down the field?"
I looked at it, my eyes got all wide. I was like, "No fucking way!"
Yeah. I will say though, to what you brought up a couple weeks ago, talking about Drake May, and like you brought up the fact, hey, does he have that clutch factor? Does he have that? He's got the ball, 2 minutes left to go. You're losing against the MVP. Let's see what you got, and he didn't do it. Now, not saying that that's all on him. I still, and I've said it too.
You need a wide receiver.
I've said it for weeks, for months. We just don't have that guy that can get open 1v1, man coverage. He's going to beat him 8 times out of 10.
Or catching 50-50 balls, really.
That too. And Booty only had 1 catch, and I don't even think that should have been a catch because I thought it hit the ground on the sidelines.
I saw that.
So yes, I do think we are, and I saw someone, I think it was Colin Cowherd, he said it perfectly. He said, the Patriots are still a mini rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're doing great. You're going to win the division. Really. But you're still, like, this game showed that you are because we had 2 linebackers hurt. That really showed in the run game. We've been so good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
And look what James Cook was able to do.
He goes over 100, 2 touchdowns.
So there's just, we're still in a little
Milton Williams is still on IR, too. Remember that?
Yes.
That's your big run stopper.
2 linebackers, Milton Williams. All of a sudden, you get those guys back. And I like our chances stopping the run, like we've shown the whole year.
Oh, yeah.
But Josh Allen, scoring 5 touchdowns in a row out of halftime, he had to be Superman. It's literally what I said. That. The only way they win games this year is Josh Allen is Superman. And it just was unfortunate that he was Superman, and we kind of fell stale in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah.
and ultimately that was our demise.
Well,
of that team.
to bring up, because we had a clip talking about this and how Buffalo, I mean, this is really their best shot at a Super Bowl. And we had a lot of backlash. Not a lot of backlash, but some people were like, I mean, what makes you say that? This right here, the fact that they are winning games like this. Josh Allen is still Superman. He's playing just as good, maybe not just as good because he has more turnovers, but he's on par with what he was playing last year when he won the MVP. And this year, you're going into the playoffs with a lot of inexperienced teams. I mean, the Broncos, Bo Nix, does not have playoff experience like that. Same with Drake May. I mean,
Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Houston
LA,
has kind of played very, up and down. They're trending upwards, though. Yes.
Wide open.
And to that, though, I look, and I'll rephrase the question of people who are, well, if they don't do it this year, they'll just do it next year.
No.
Like, yeah, no shit, but at the same time...
Next year is never guaranteed. Josh Allen could get hurt just like Mahomes got hurt this year.
But you're going into the playoffs, hands down, unequivocally, you have the most experience from the most important position on the field.
As a team as a whole, too, like in general, that team, most of them have played through, divisional rounds, AFC championship games. So they know what to expect and they know what kind of football they're going to have to play. And I do think probably I give them the edge right now
100%.
Just to make the Super Bowl. But, obviously we have to see the playoffs play out. I still don't fully trust the Broncos offense. Yeah, they look really good against
but the
Packers,
national media, though, look, if you went all the way back to your first clips from before the season even started, and we were watching Hard Knocks, and you're watching John, and you were like, literally, this is the NFL introducing you to who they want to win the Super Bowl. And frankly, everybody's saying right now, if you don't win it this year, Josh Allen, when are you ever going to win it?
Well, and that's
the table is set.
That's what we said, and people are like, what do you mean, when are you ever going to win it? And I just want to say, look, if it wasn't for, let's look back in history a little bit. If it wasn't for Tom Brady, Peyton Manning would have been the Tom Brady.
Ben Roethlisberger probably has more rings.
So now all of a sudden...
Phillip Rivers probably even has a ring.
So now all of a sudden, let's say back in the day, you put Peyton Manning in the playoffs without a Brady, without a Roethlisberger, without any of those guys. You're expecting him to, hey, he needs to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go to... Dan Marino and Joe Montana.
Exactly.
Without Joe Montana, Dan Marino wins some Super Bowls.
That's why the conversation is here to you fast forward to this year. Now all of a sudden the guy who has won and been in, I don't even know how many Super Bowls at this point.
Not just the guy, the other two guys that have been competing with you too are likely out.
And I mean, Lamar, when Burrow went to the Super Bowl, he beat Josh Allen that year to go to the Super Bowl. So now all of a sudden you're taking out all the quarterbacks that have literally beat you in the playoffs.
You're taking out the threats.
You have to get to the Super Bowl this year.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah, and
that's the
anybody
argument.
that says otherwise doesn't understand the way windows work in the NFL. Windows open
window
and
can
windows
last a
slam
year.
And you can argue that the Bills window is closed with the talent they have left on defense and the talent they have around Josh Allen. Yeah. That's why he's having to win games the way they are right now.
If they win the Super Bowl this year, in my opinion, it's going to be one of the more impressive rings we've ever seen.
Even if you don't have to face Burrow, Lamar, or Mahomes in the playoffs.
Because of the caliber of defenses that they're still going to have to go through, and likely, Houston, they're going to have to play Denver at some point, I'm sure. Those are two of the best defenses in the league. And if you can beat both of them on your run to a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, I mean, that puts you... I can't think of 5 better Super Bowl runs, seriously. And it's got to happen. It really has to happen for Buffalo. But on the other side of the Patriots, it's good that you guys still control your own destiny.
Yes.
I mean, you still just win out and you win the AFC East. You just delayed your AFC East crown by 1 week.
They called it a half a t-shirt game.
Half a t-shirt game.
I'm not worried about it. I think in the grand scheme of things, it would have been really, really hard to beat Buffalo a third time. And if we do play Buffalo again, it will have to be at our place, so that's great.
That's true.
We'll get some players back. We'll have our tackles back, some of our own line back, and it will
that's the other thing. You played without Will Campbell, too.
It will look different. And I thought Drake May played great when it came to running the ball.
Joey Bosa had a great game, too.
Yes. It was frustrating, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Next game to go on, we will talk a little bit about Dylan's game just because it's the Bears. They kind of we joked.
The Bears.
Well, we joked that Shador, hey, what if he went for 304 passing touchdowns?
What if he threw 3 interceptions?
It was not. We didn't say that. Yeah, it didn't look very well.
Nope.
It's very good, but it also shows that the Bears defense is very, very good at taking away the football, as they've been all year.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very scary team. This is a real football team, and I'm just glad we looked like this, considering this is a team that beat the Packers earlier in the year. So yeah, we handled business. This is how good teams are supposed to treat bad teams. I mean, there was not a chance in hell really throughout that game, outside of maybe the first quarter where it was still, like 14-3, that they had even a sliver of a chance to come back. But yeah, it's just the defense is stepping up and they're getting healthier. Tremaine Edmonds just got activated off of IR. He might come back for the Packers game on Saturday. Kyler Gordon should be back for the playoffs. He got put on IR again. But it doesn't matter. I think the Bears lead the league in games missed due to IR. I think it's sitting at like 240 games or something like that. Most in the league. And they're sitting at 10-4. So coaching matters. And you want to know the other side of that. How I know this is because, coaching and player development matters. One, the Niners are also at the top of that list. And where are they right now? Sitting at, I think, 10 wins. And then the Raiders. You want to guess how many games the Raiders have missed due to players on IR?
I'm going to go with not very many. 4?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
They've been doing this all year long, sucking hell with all their players healthy. And so right there, it's Ben Johnson is the difference. And I think, I don't have too much else to say about them. They've been proving me right and a little bit wrong all season long. It's been refreshing.
This is also a game last year, coming off of the way they lost to the Packers. Last year, they would have come into this game and maybe kept it either really close or maybe lost this game just
Snowballed.
because of So it was great to see them just absolutely put together, I think, a really good game. I bet on Manungai and he didn't do very good.
Caleb
unfortunately
played fantastic.
Caleb played
That is
good.
a top 5 pass defense.
The throw he had to DJ Moore in the end zone was insane.
God. I saw people comparing that to Montana's throw. Just one difference is Montana threw that from the 10. Caleb threw that from the 30.
Off his back foot, too.
In the wind.
Yeah. No, it was
a good
it
throw.
was an impressive win. You suffocated a not so good team, and you took advantage of that with turnovers, running the ball, and Caleb making some great
In a
plays.
game you really needed to win, too, because even as it stands right now, the Bears do not have a playoff spot clinched. They need to win 2 out of their next 3. They either need to beat the Packers on Saturday, and then some other teams can lose, and we get a playoff spot that way. But realistically, we need to beat 2 out of the 3 teams in the Packers, 49ers, and Lions last week. And this one needed to fall first because, I really hope that this doesn't blow up in my face. And I don't think it will. I think this is a team that's well coached. I think they understand what's expected of them. And they're not, I guess they're all on the same page, finally. Except, there were still a few receiver drops. I mean, Caleb has over 300 yards and maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns on Sunday if, we can get on the same page with everyone. So hopefully that comes later in December or in the playoffs.
Well, and to go kind of a little bit into the game against the Packers, let's not kid ourselves. The Micah Parsons thing being, him being out, that's a huge deal.
Oh yeah, I've got a whole thing on that.
That is a huge deal that I don't think is going to be. I'm sure it will be talked about, but the impact of what that's going to mean for just the different feel. They played. The Packers 2 weeks ago. It's going to feel and look completely different because one player is not on that
and not
field.
just this year.
Next
That's
year,
going to affect them
trust
for
me,
a few years.
I've got a whole thing on them. But before we get started, I had this as a segment anyways, because we wanted to talk about the Dolphins and being I think 0-14 in 40-degree weather or less than 40-degree weather. But I already had it added that, I think McDaniel said after the game that their QB play just wasn't good enough, simply was not good enough. So today, as we're getting ready for the show, Quinn Ewers is now the starting quarterback for the Dolphins. Breaking news. Captain CTE ceases to exist. Your thoughts, Chris?
First of all, the Miami Dolphins won on Monday night. We won because finally the pressure broke the dam.
You think that McDaniels is gone after that?
I think by that being a Monday night game, I think by us losing the way that we did, it finally showed the world that Tua is not capable of leading an NFL team right now. and
Yeah.
anybody be better than him right now. So thank God we won because now Ewers gets a shot. Kind of like, remember last season when Atlanta gave Penix like 4 or 5 games to see what they got? Now they can at least see what they got with Ewers. Like, let's just see what they've got because Tua's not the future.
No, he's not. And I think people were throwing at his stats and saying, oh, it wasn't just on Tua. Tua had 66 passing yards going into the fourth quarter. And he finished with 212. All of them were garbage yards. And they didn't score a touchdown until late.
He also has, I think, 16 interceptions on the year.
Yeah.
So it just has not, it stems from
The
quarterback
experiment.
play.
So I want to know, though, do you think this was the owner? Or do you think this was McDaniels? Because remember, he was the only guy that came in and said, I believe in Tua. I believe. Wonder what he's saying now.
Well, you have to kind of say that.
I don't know who this was. I would assume it's probably McDaniel, but
Because it happened
Stephen
really,
Ross?
it happened really fast after the game, too. So I'd have to imagine it was from McDaniel.
probably.
Or, it was, conversations that he might have had with the owner leading into the game. And then
I thought it was
So-
because if we won and we kept winning, we still had a tiny chance of making the playoffs. Because we lost this game, we're definitely out now.
You are.
And
You're
now it's like,
eliminated.
you know what? Let's see what we got. Because it's over. And maybe this is McDaniel's last-ditch effort to save his job.
That's true.
Or to kind
Maybe.
of like interview towards other teams to
Yep.
be,
He's going to be
Get
an
a little
offensive
resume.
coordinator
Oh, yeah,
somewhere,
100%.
I think. He's going to be one of those guys, kind of like Dennis Allen with the Bears right now and our defensive coordinator. A guy that just, he didn't work as a head coach. And it's good for whoever hires him as an offensive coordinator because he's not going to get a head coaching job anywhere else.
And I think
as long as you keep him happy there.
he'd be good for the Falcons.
Oh my God,
he'd be good for a lot of teams.
A lot of the Raiders. The Raiders are in need of an OC right now. And I think Pete Carroll may get fired too. So yeah, there's plenty of options for McDaniel. And I think he's a good play caller. But yeah, it's just his press conferences make my brain hurt. And like like after every word, it's it's just not a head coach. He's not a head coach. Not everyone is.
I think the capri pants is what throws me a little bit. And his sunglasses.
No,
Dude, he's
look,
like a
I think yours. Who knows? Who knows anymore when it comes to these quarterbacks?
We'll
And
say Dawson is starting the Bengals defense. So
I-
he clearly doesn't believe in
I
Ewers very
really
much this
want
week.
to because I
So
think
you had a bye, right? So tell everybody where you're
I
at.
had a
Like you're in the
bye.
champ. Like
I
you're
was first seed
number
going
one
in,
seed.
had a bye. Got this week coming up, and I don't think most people kind of like, oh, it's a defense. Who cares? Sometimes a defense can win you a week if they put up 15, 20 points. And then all of a sudden you're looking and going, their defense had 20
Same with
points? What the
kickers,
hell?
too.
So I was looking at defenses of either the Vikings against the Giants. You've got Tampa Bay versus Carolina. And then I'd say now the Bengals versus the Dolphins with Quinn Ewers. And I know, call me crazy, but I know the Bengals defense has not been good. But they had 18 points on when was it, Thanksgiving night against Lamar,
Against the Ravens.
and now all of a sudden you're throwing Quinn Ewers in there.
This is still an
I don't
NFL
know.
defense, guys.
Yes.
Like they may be terrible as a whole team. This is still NFL players.
And it might
Where's
be.
the game at? Is it in
it's in
Miami?
Miami.
Oh,
It's in
It
Miami.
might be a gamble I'm willing to take in the playoffs to maybe get
Scared money don't make money.
All of a sudden I get a pick six. All of a sudden, something happens and I
could
got
happen.
20 points for my defense. I mean, that could be the deciding factor.
yeah.
So we'll see. I'm gonna analyze and look at all the numbers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm probably 50%. I might do it.
I think you should do it. I did it. I just did it before we started the show.
I might do it.
I think.
But no, yes, I think the Dolphins as a whole, you need to rebuild.
They haven't won a playoff game in 25 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's a long
They've been in a couple
time.
playoff games.
It's the
They've not
longest
won
streak, I think, across all sports right now. It's crazy. But on to our first ACL tear of the week. This sucked. Even as a Bears fan, this sucked. Because I love Micah Parsons. I think he is...
You don't want to see this for anyone.
No, hell no. And I mean, most importantly, I don't want to beat teams with their best players out. Because then it creates a narrative that you don't want. And it's like, yeah, even yourself are wondering, like, damn, would we have won that game if Micah Parsons played? And I think Denver has to be thinking that because they didn't start coming back until Micah Parsons went down. But this ACL tear is massive for Green Bay. And I think more so than this year, these next years coming up for Green Bay are going to be really tough. Because not only are you strapped for cash now because you have paid Micah Parsons, you've paid Jordan Love, you've paid Josh Jacobs, you've paid Xavier McKinney, you've paid O-linemen, you've paid Rashawn Gary. Everyone is on long-term deals. You have $9 million in cap space next year and the year after. That's like maybe 1 or 2 low-end deals. That's not going to be enough to replace Micah Parsons. And on top of that, you don't have a first-round pick until 2028 now. This is going to be very difficult for the Packers to come back from. And they still, I mean, they have one of the youngest, if not the youngest rosters in the NFL. But one, you don't have a true wide receiver one, which I think you can look at both ways. That's either a good thing or a bad thing because you don't know who's going to pop off every week. Tucker Kraft is already coming back next year off of an ACL injury. And players, more likely than not, are not the same person that first year after an ACL tear, unless you're Adrian Peterson in 2012. It just doesn't happen, and especially not for Micah Parsons. You need your knees as a pass rusher, arguably more than a running back. It's just not going to be. Micah Parsons will not be the same player next year when he comes back or if he comes back. Because it's not guaranteed that he has a speedy recovery either.
And and like you kind of mentioned, it is unfortunate because all the injuries that we've had this year of all the great players. I mean, Malik
this one might be the biggest one.
Micah Parsons,
This is
now
bad.
Mahomes. Now it does suck because you want to see the best product you possibly can see on that
Absolutely.
field. And regardless if it's going up against your own team. I mean, me personally, I want to see the best players play, and it sucks when they don't. But this is the storyline every year of, you almost go into each season going, okay, what big name players are going to get hurt this year? And I hope it's none on my team. And that's another thing that's and people, I don't think it's insane for you to be like, hey, that's, I know it sucks, but like that's awesome. For my team, not that he got hurt, of course, but it is going to drastically change the game and how the game is played, how the play calls are made, stuff. Like I even saw who's the Sean Payton talking to Max Crosby after they played a couple weeks ago, how he basically said, yeah, there are certain plays I have on my call sheet to call when you are not in the game. And he said, I couldn't call them because you are in every single play on defense.
So funny.
And it's stuff like that to where if you don't think that these certain players are dictating calls or just certain things that happen within the game, you're wrong.
I promise you that Ben Johnson's ears perked up when he saw that Micah Parsons was not going to be playing them next week. I think you're going to see it leads into honestly what I took as my bet of the week. And I think the Bears are going to, I don't want to say dominate the Packers, but you're going to see what this game could have turned into if that game 2 weeks ago was one more quarter long. And the only difference is you're not going to have that hot start. Because, I mean, you already have Devontae Wyatt's out for the year, too. I think the Packers have a lot of injuries. And a lot of these injuries, Christian Watson got hurt as well. And so apparently he was fine, but it's not a recipe for success when you have so many players in and out, especially important players. And so, obviously, I think the Packers' Super Bowl hopes this year done for. I mean, if we're being realistic, their secondary is starting to get exposed now. You saw it in Denver once the pass rush stopped getting to Bo Nix.
Well, and even if they win the division, you're still going to run into a juggernaut of either the Rams.
Yeah.
I even think Seattle beats them.
Oh, absolutely.
I think.
And we'll see if we beat them on Saturday. You can throw that name in the hat as well. There are a lot of good teams, even the 49ers. And the 49ers have the Packers number as of like the last decade. They always beat them in the playoffs. And so, I think it's really tough for Green Bay. And I'm not going to relish in it because, just because I'm a Bears fan, I want them to be at their best so that I can feel the best about my team when we beat them. And it's just not going to be like that on Saturday.
It's one thing to go about it and go, that really sucks. But, it does make my chances for my team.
Yeah, our chances got a lot better.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
But speaking of big name players getting hurt, this is something I don't think I'd ever imagined seeing, is Mahomes having a season-ending injury. And granted, I mean, there's only like 3 weeks left in the season.
That's what I want to say. Let's not forget. Like, people are comparing this to the Tom Brady when he tore his ACL.
Brady got hurt like week 1.
This season was over.
Yeah,
they were done. He played the whole year. He stunk it up the whole year. Is it unfortunate that this happened? Yes, of course.
I think it's good though that. So I think one of the analysts brought it up. I can't remember who, but we're not going to miss much of Patrick Mahomes because he had surgery already. He's going to be recovered. I don't think he'll play to start the year immediately. I think he may be out like the first month of the regular season. But I think the Chiefs have an uphill battle, really. I think you saw it this year with, they have an aging roster. this team is going to look very different next year. And I don't think necessarily it could be for good. I think Chris Jones could retire. I think Kelsey probably retires. You still have O-line issues. You've got guys on long-term deals that probably, like Jawan Taylor, their right tackle, probably needs to get cut loose. He hasn't even been healthy this year. And when he was healthy, he hasn't been good. Gardner Minshew's a free agent. So who is going to be the quarterback for the Chiefs next year? I think someone like Mac Jones would be great to bring in. Someone that, can run a system and get the ball to open receivers. But it's uphill battle for the Chiefs.
It's going to be very interesting. We talked about it a lot last week. But no, I say it's just, this is now the second part of his career. And we've been saying it. And
did you see the parallels that I sent in the group chat? It's scary.
It is. But
scary.
If you want to be compared to that, you're going to have to now put together the second half of your career.
He should be thankful he tore his ACL because he's like right on track with Brady.
It does
first
suck,
9
though,
seasons, 3 Super Bowl wins.
It does suck though that it happened at the end of the year. Like if this was to happen, looking back, you would have said, well, if it was going to happen to me, I'd rather it happen at the beginning, so I'm guaranteed to start the next year off strong.
Yeah, that's true.
To where you are probably right. He's going to have to miss the first probably month of next.
He might be out longer
next year.
Well,
some people are saying just let him sit out the whole year, get a good draft pick, reload, pay some guys. All of a sudden, you got Jeremiah Smith coming out from Ohio State and maybe doing something with that.
Oh, my God.
So that's what some people are saying.
That'd be scary.
I don't think the competitor that Mahomes is, there's no way he sits out all next year. When he's healthy and he's able to return, he will return.
Yeah.
But I said this to Chris, the way Mahomes plays the game, all of a sudden you're tearing your ACL.
It's going to change.
You're going to have to evolve of how you play quarterback. With all the running you do, with all the scrambling, with all the crazy throws.
He ran more this year than he ever has.
Just everything. It's going to be a lot different from say a Brady or say a Peyton Manning when they got hurt, to where they didn't rely on that. Nope. To where I think Mahomes, 30-40% of the time he's relying on his feet to either get him out of the pocket to create more time, scramble around, or rush the same way we saw this year. And the past couple years, to be quite frank. He's always done it.
It's going to put much more emphasis on the Chiefs building up this O-line.
Yeah.
I think they waited too long, and I think they tried to plug and play, and they almost skimped out a little bit. And we've seen plenty of times when teams do this, it doesn't work out in their favor. The Bears finally decided to just throw resources at the O-line, and what happened now? Caleb's calling them the Avengers, and it's you need the O-line, and Mahomes can't do it all, no matter how great he is. No quarterback has ever been able to do it all on their own. And there needs to be a surrounding cast.
The 2 Super Bowls that he lost against Philly and Tampa, he didn't even have an all. It was exposed then. So he had a great year, made it to the Super Bowl, was able to make up for it, and then all of a sudden you weren't to a team who had a really good D-line, and your O-line wasn't capable of putting together a 60-minute game. So it's going to look extremely different. And I think Kelsey's going to be done. Chris Jones could possibly be done because he kind of looks checked out this whole year.
He didn't even know they were out of the playoffs.
I saw that. Presser. I saw that, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. You could interpret it like that both ways.
I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting. But this is the second half of your career now, and let's see how you can put it together. Andy Reid, if you're gonna be there, if you want to stay, it's gonna be very interesting to see for a lot of people. Whether that's you're on the fence of, well, he's better than Tom Brady and he's this and he's gonna.
We shall see.
All these questions are going to be answered, I think, in the next 10, 12, however many more years he has left to play. And then we can really have the conversation of who's the greatest of all time.
GOAT? ESPN's been having that conversation for 6 years at this point.
I know, right? To get into this week, we will go into fourth down and
20.
Fourth and 21,
not the way you want to try to extend it.
Especially, I know you enjoy it. I love just talking about it.
Hey, did you see the Braves re-signed Ha-Seong Kim?
We do.
Your prayers have been answered, Jake.
Jake was mad that we did it, and we got him back.
Look at that.
Yeah.
He's back, baby. The Braves are back.
I don't know.
The Braves are back.
We'll
what do you got for us, Chris?
All right, guys. Well, you must have been reading my mind because my first question, I want to talk about Brady and Mahomes for a minute. So they both suffered ACL injuries in their 9th season.
One was at the beginning and one was at the end.
But his 9th season. Both players had it happen in the season following a Super Bowl loss.
It's pretty crazy.
Both players had already won 3 Super Bowls prior to the injury.
Yep.
Are you punting or going for it? Or Mahomes coming back without skipping a beat? And Dawson, you just alluded to it. And I think that's really the biggest difference when you look at quarterbacks and injuries, how they play the game. You might have already answered it, but anything more to say on that as far as what this is really going to do in terms of that GOAT conversation?
That's truly what I think is going to be the hardest part for Mahomes, because now all of a sudden
He's going to have to change his game a little bit.
Now all of a sudden you're going to not be able to do things that you were used to just doing and not having to think about it.
Well, you saw the comments that Brady made about, his experience after the ACL surgery. He said, you are not going to feel comfortable for like 8 to 9 months straight. Everything is going to hurt. It's going to feel like you're doing the wrong thing, but you just have to push through it. And he said, I think one of the hardest things he's ever had to go through and hardest recoveries he's ever had to go through. So this is an uphill battle for not only the Chiefs, but Mahomes. And I don't think that he's going to start off the year healthy next year. I think
I can imagine how he could be fully healthy to start.
Can't.
And like I said, it's just you're going the way you play the game, the way you scramble,
He's physical. He's a physical quarterback.
It's just you're going to have to change how you play the game. And if anyone says otherwise, you haven't watched him play compared to the Mahomes,
especially this year.
Especially this year.
He was their leading rusher.
Yeah.
That says all I need to know.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's going to look a lot different. And that could be very hard for him to all of a sudden, hey, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. Now you can't. Now you're going to have to evolve your own game the same way. And that to me also proves your greatness with Brady. He was able to play till he was 45. He was able to do things with his body and protect his body, and the longevity of him playing that long, not just playing, but playing at a very, very high level.
Oh, yeah.
So Mahomes, you're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to look at your game and go, okay, what can I do? How can I change this? How can I just all these different things that most people aren't just taking into consideration, and it's going to look different, and it's going to come down to Mahomes if he's willing to change that, if he's willing to evolve his game, and only time will tell, and we'll see.
Do you think the narrative changes from, Chiefs fans complaining about the refs saying that's the reason they lost to just bringing up that, if Mahomes was healthy, we would have won?
Well, that's why
it's probably true.
That's why I keep on saying, that too. And that's why I'm also saying Brady got hurt in the first quarter of the first game of week 1 when he tore his ACL.
I will say, though, it will speak volumes to the surrounding cast, because the year that Brady tore his ACL, they went 11-5, right? But they missed the playoffs.
Yes.
They were still a really good team.
Yeah, that's when they brought in Garoppolo.
No.
That was way before.
Castle.
Yeah, Matt Castle.
Yeah. And that was when they said it's the system, it's this, because he stepped in and did pretty well that season.
I do quite honestly think there's a scenario here where it honestly benefits Mahomes if the Chiefs are like a 4-win team next season. It's going to be largely the same unit. You're going to look at it and be like, wow. I mean, he really was having to do a lot of this shit on his own. But I can't imagine that, because the Chiefs have the good coaching. They've got the good culture. They've got I would like to say they've got a lot of good players on that team. We'll see next year.
We'll see if it is the culture and if it is the coaching, or if it truly just was Mahomes.
Yeah, which I think this definitely could end up working in Mahomes' favor a little bit. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. The other part that I also think most people aren't talking about is I think Mahomes is going to have to restructure his contract one way or another.
Oh my God,
The same way Brady did for all those years to still have the talent around him.
100%.
He's going to have to make a choice and go, look, if I want to win championships, if I want to make the most out of these next 10 years, or however long I plan on playing, he's going to have to make some of those hard decisions, because the money will come. He's got the money. He's got the money. And you don't need the money from your NFL contract, in my opinion. And the same way Brady kind of viewed that.
He's got endorsement
I've heard
deals.
Brady say multiple times of, if you play good on the field, the money will come after.
Oh, yeah.
With everything.
Absolutely.
Look at J.J. Watt with TV. Tom Brady with TV.
Sponsorships, endorsements.
Everything. If you play good while you're a current NFL player and you retire and all these things, the money will come after. And if you truly are about winning championships and you want to make the best, you're going to need to do something with that contract. That's the other little nugget
I agree.
know people aren't talking about as well.
Okay, so sticking with injuries, there's a lot of chatter online saying this is such a bad season, all these major injuries. What's going on?
It's on
The
par with the
reality
last
is
8.
this: is there's we're less injuries than normal.
We are.
The difference is it's all big names, right? I mean, Mahomes obviously, Eckler, Najee Harris, Neighbors, Bosa, Kraft, Penix,
Did have a
Hurts,
lot.
Parsons,
Fred Warner,
Tyreek, Fred Warner, Scattaboo. I mean, I want to know of all those injuries, or even ones that I didn't even talk about, which of these do you think will affect the league as a whole or their team the most?
So I do think it already has. I think the NFL came out and said that they are taking control out of the team's hands when it comes to deciding the kind of field that they have. So I think they are similar to helmets. They are approving a set list of fields between, regular grass and artificial turf that are considered safe. I don't know if it will matter in the end. I do think still, when you play on turf, you're just infinitely more likely to have an injury than on regular grass, but it already has. I think the NFL is finally starting to pay attention.
But even like Micah Parsons, they were playing on grass.
That's true.
Planted his foot, tore his ACL. So
it's very true.
But could it be the switching between the different surfaces?
That too.
Yeah,
maybe. That too.
Maybe.
And who's to say that they weren't practicing on a turf field while they were, because they weren't at their facility before they got to Denver. So it just sucks seeing this many injuries, and it does feel like it's been a lot more big names than normal.
It does.
There
happen.
always are a few, but
it does happen though every year though. I think to where you're just hoping that it's not one of your players on your team, or whether that's fantasy or Jake was saying that half of his, like in all 4 of his leagues, his first round pick all was out for half or more than the year.
It sucks.
So it's just stuff like that to where you just never know, and you just hope it's not one of your guys.
God, I forgot about how nasty Tyreek Hill's injury was.
Yeah. There were some bad ones.
There have been.
But to go to your question of who's going to have the most, like, what's the word you use, the most impact for a big injury this year? It's got to be Mahomes.
Either that or Parsons.
Of what that's going to set up for the Chiefs for the next so many years. And I even think Parsons, because of how much they're paying him and how
strapped they are. No draft picks, really.
They put a lot of marbles in that basket. So
think about the Colts too.
The Colts as well.
With Sauce Gardner,
with Daniel Jones. They gave 2 first rounders for Sauce to really make a playoff push, and now all of a sudden they're not going to make the playoffs because the quarterback got hurt.
They may not pay Daniel Jones now either because he's not going to be healthy.
That's actually a great one. That Daniel Jones injury was a very significant to them trading 2 first picks for Sauce and just everything going all in this year. Yeah, that's a big one too.
It is a big one.
Well, breaking news though. So Roger Goodell just took a page out of CFP's playbook. He decided that he wants the Chiefs, and he's making Mahomes play in the playoffs for TV money. So So speaking of college football playoffs, so first round games are this weekend,
Friday and Saturday.
So do you think any of these first round teams, of all the teams that are playing, do you think any of them can win the whole thing?
So the game that entices me the most, because we're doing our bracket, obviously we posted we were going to post the graphic. Everyone's picking Colin, Bailey,
I got to make my picks.
That's all of them. So the most interesting game when I was going through and picking, my first couple games is the
Ole Miss game?
No, not the Ole Miss game. It is the Texas A&M
Miami
game.
Yeah.
I think that game could be the most entertaining because I think JMU, Oregon's going to kill them. I think Alabama, Oklahoma could also be entertaining, but I don't think it's going to be very high scoring because Alabama's offense is really not that good. No. And Oklahoma has had some offensive struggles too, where they have a good defense.
I think either one of those teams loses in the second round. Whoever wins.
Yeah, I think that game will be very low scoring. But the game that really entices me the most is the Texas A&M Miami game.
I actually think Miami wins that.
I do. I'm leaning towards more towards Miami just because I really like. I think the attitude that they're going to bring into that game. Of trying to hey, we deserved this spot. We've been over Notre Dame and all the talk and everything like that. But that's the game that I have circled where out of the first couples, I think for the most part, it's going to be really easy. And it's just going to be that makes sense that team won. I think the Texas A&M Miami game is going to be a really good game.
So do you think the national champion will come from any of these games, or is it one of the 4 waiting with their bye?
I think
we said it a few weeks ago. They got the top 4 right. Those are the 4 best teams in college football.
I think it's either going to be Indiana, Georgia, or Ohio State.
Probably.
Those are the 3 best teams in the country when it comes to coaching. And there might be a cool story. Like if Ole Miss wins, that will just be a cool story because of everything that's happened with their coach and Lane Kiffin and all that. The most entertaining game, though, like I just said,
Miami.
that Texas A&M game, I think is going to be a really fun game to watch.
I think it'll be fun.
So Division I FCS football has been doing the playoffs for a long, long time. They've got it figured out, right? They bring in enough teams, 24 teams, all of this. I get it's not quite the same. However, the championship is at Vanderbilt. It's in Nashville. Dawson, as you mentioned, the Grizz are playing the Bobcats. This is their 125th meeting of all time.
My God.
Never met in the postseason, right? So you've seen them play the last few weeks. How do you think they're going to do? Are we going to be going to the Natty in Nashville?
Well,
honestly,
we talked about it when we first started talking about Montana. Was when they originally played Montana State for the last game of the season.
They did lose,
and
this
the only
matchup.
reason they lost is I think because of that pick 6. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And it ultimately they lost by what 4 or 3 points.
It wasn't very many.
It wasn't very many, and
That was the deciding- yes.
deciding fact of a huge game like that. You just can't turn over the ball.
Yep.
So I think if you play clean, you run the ball. They've got some really good weapons. I know Montana State also has a good team, and they've got a good quarterback. But I think Montana's quarterback is really good. What's his name? Number 6 on Montana. I can't remember his name right now.
Wharton.
Wharton. He's the guy.
He should play. He should go to the NFL.
He almost had like 300 scrimmage yards when it comes to kick return, rushing,
He's
receiving.
averaging almost 300 on the season.
What about my guy running rabbit?
No, he's
he's a bench guy.
like, yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch the game this weekend. So,
No, I'm looking forward to it.
do you think we're gonna go to the Natty?
If you can run the ball, you play good defense because I think they play really, really good team defense. You don't turn over the ball like you did the first time they played. I'm gonna say they'll take it, but all of a sudden, and you've got to score touchdowns because
Who's on the other side of the bracket?
It doesn't matter.
Honestly,
it doesn't matter.
Whoever wins this game is
North
probably
Dakota
gonna be
is
the-
out,
really?
so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This should be the championship.
This is
game.
the whoever
Interesting.
gets out of this game
Honestly, it
is going
doesn't
to win
matter.
the whole thing. The other thing that I will say in their first game when they played not South Dakota, was it North Dakota? The
North Dakota.
Jackrabbits?
Yeah.
There
Oh,
were
South
a
Dakota
couple.
State
They had a
Jackrabbits.
couple red zone trips where they didn't score touchdowns, and they had to kick a field goal. You've got to score touchdowns when you're in the red
I
zone.
agree.
I agree.
You have to. So score touchdowns in the red zone. Do not turn over the ball. If you do, just do not give them short field and play your good swarming, team defense. And I think there's a good chance that you can take this one.
Okay. Well, tickets are about $250 a piece. We're going to be going. Jake, you want to go? Yeah? Yeah, we're going. Absolutely. It's on a Monday night. Okay, here we go. So Avatar, the 3rd installment, comes out this week.
Friday, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
So
Friday.
I went back and watched, the first 2 movies to just catch up. Rumor has it.
How was that 8-hour journey?
Yeah, exactly. It was about 7 hours. So rumor has it that they're playing the new Avengers trailer for the next 4 weeks.
It
4
got-
different
it
trailers.
got leaked
They're going to
online.
switch it out each week. So are you guys going to Avatar 4 times in the theaters?
So the first one already got leaked online.
They're all gonna get
unfortunately.
leaked,
I'll send it to you after this. It wasn't much. It was, a blip. Steve Rogers has a son, or at least a kid.
Of the life he made after he returned the Infinity Stones and stayed with
I
Peggy
think
Carter.
so. Let's spin this because I know Avatar. I am looking forward to Avatar, but we talked about it last week as well. I think it's going to be the best one that came out. But the plot hole that they have now opened up with Endgame is who the fuck was old man Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame when he came back? If Doom is now after Captain America in the past,
I see. This is me and Jake were talking about this.
who like what?
It's a great question. Me and Jake were talking. I personally don't see the plot. Like unless
I think
he's,
that's a good thing though.
and it could be in it, but I'm viewing it as in. I saw someone say it's like a legacy reboot, to where like you have all these characters that they tried to get you to care about, no one did, and now all of a sudden you have to bring back the 2 characters that people cared about the most when it came to Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, but they're like different. I don't know. I seriously don't know what to think. I don't
either.
I don't know, and
I
I
want
know
you to forget.
I know the Russo brothers. People are saying, "Well, I trust them," and I do to a certain extent. They've done some good things, especially in the Marvel world. They've also done some really bad things in other worlds. But I had this conversation with Jake, and I just was like, I don't know where do you? Like, is he a part of the whole movie? Is he just like a cameo for this first like half, and then he's gonna die, and idea. Doctor Doom's gonna where does this go? And I even think the other ones.
Why do you want to know? That's why
I think it's a good thing that
it's not that I want to know. It's just I'm confused to the point. Like now they're saying it's literally like a direct it's a direct right after Endgame, where it's like, well, what about all the other fucking movies that you guys tried to force down our throats for the past 6-7 years? I don't. Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So to answer your question, am I excited? Am I going to watch it because I love all those characters?
I think we're just confused about the path they're taking. But I do think it could be a good thing. I'm going to go into that movie not knowing what the hell to expect, and I'm going to be very surprised. Well, hopefully.
And the other thing that I brought up to Jake, I said, because the new Spider-Man movie comes out before this
trailer got leaked for that.
I saw that as well. And then people are saying, well, Spider-Man's not going to be in it and this and that. And it's just, if he's not in it, I think that's stupid. And how is that Spider-Man movie going to tie into this when it's a direct, like the timeline is just so fucked, if I do say so. Yeah. They've really, I mean, to the multiverse and just to everything and to Loki with what he, kind of stands for now after season 3 of his show. I don't know where I don't know. There's no structure. It's like college football. It's just whatever the fuck they want to do, they're throwing it out there.
I do think, maybe they needed to take a page out of DC's book and just,
completely reboot the whole thing.
Reboot it, new characters, new movies, new not origin stories, but yeah, we'll see if this works out. I mean, we've got this storyline at least until 2027 because that's when Secret Wars come out. And then I do think, because they are treating this kind of, I don't know, I've heard them say that it is kind of, these last two movies, the last two Avengers movies, are kind of a soft reboot to where after Secret Wars, they're just going to reset the MCU timeline. And they do that. That's why they introduced Franklin, the baby, in Fantastic Four, because that is one of his, like, he does that, apparently.
That's why Galactus wanted, and that's probably why Doctor Doom wanted him in that post-game.
We'll see. There's a lot of cards at play for this movie, and I hope that Spider-Man is actually like meaningful towards it, and not just like hey, here's your favorite character while you wait. You sit on this for 6 months before Doomsday comes out. We'll see. I'm still looking forward to it, but I'm a little confused about where.
Well, and I'm also when all these 4 trailers come out, and we can kind of whatever type of setup they want to do with these 4 trailers to kind of look at all of them and go. Now, if I had to guess, because of the one they did with Steve Rogers, I heard the next one's going to be Thor, and it's going to be Thor will return to Doomsday. So if that's the trend they're going on, then who are the other 2 people that they're like? Is it going to be Black Widow returns after doing what they did to her?
They released the list.
It's Dr. Doom, and
it's Doom.
Ensemble.
Okay. So then another question though: do you think they've already determined these 4, or
100%?
Or do you think they're waiting to see what everybody says, and then they're like going to throw you a curveball on the 4th one? No, they have a month to figure it out.
No, they're determined. They're predetermined. I bet.
Okay, so last thing here, just want to talk about baseball for a minute. I mean, the notifications have been going off like crazy for this last week.
MLB free agency.
A lot of free agency stuff in MLB. So, what are the biggest surprises so far for your guys' 2
I
teams?
thought my team hasn't really done anything yet, but I thought the Phillies re-signing Schwarber and then going and getting Adolis Garcia as well. The Phillies are trying to beat the Dodgers. Like, they're really trying. They made some pitching moves as well. The Phillies are trying to load up.
I think they just signed another pitcher right now.
Did they? Yeah.
Well, and their outfield has not been able to produce hits and runs.
Adolis Garcia is going to get you that.
But they've had very good outfielders defensive wise, and they've kind of just said that's what we'd rather have.
He's going to take Castellanos' spot. I think they let Castellanos walk, and they have Bader, right? They traded for Bader from the Mets in July.
So.
And I think he's still in team
Brad
control.
Keller. They're literally they just announced it 5 minutes ago.
The Phillies are trying to compete with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers. Let's just speak on them getting fucking. Oh my god! Yeah. Edwin Diaz. Diaz.
Yeah. That when Jake sent me that, I was like, great.
Did you hear what he said?
Great.
He said, it was an easy decision.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, okay. Hop on
And
the
that
three-peat.
doesn't even count the other Japanese player who's coming overseas. The
He
really
did
good
say
one.
so. He said he would rather compete against the Dodgers, which thank
Bullshit.
God. He did. He is, and he's doubled down on it a few times that he does not. He's not going to join the Dodgers. Doesn't matter though because
third baseman, though.
yeah,
They
don't really need
Who's
him.
their third baseman?
They have
Max Muncy.
No, they don't have. Oh, they do have. I think they do still have Max, but
There was one other guy too. Was it Hernandez or does he Kike Hernandez? He
Kike
played in
is
the
kind of a
outfield.
utility guy. They've got a guy for everything, but I will say, enjoy it while it lasts because baseball is not going to have a 2028 season. They're going to lock out for almost the entire year. It's 27 or 28 when the CBA comes up. They're not going to be playing baseball that year, and they might not play baseball for like a year or two. It's going to take a long time because the players don't want a cap. And I think you might end up getting
why
away
would you?
with making a salary floor, which I think works better for baseball. But either way, it's going to go into months of negotiations and players being like, "Oh, what about this?"
So
What
how
about
much
this?"
of the ownership and those people making those? How much do you think, like percentage wise, want some type of cap? And how much do you think?
I would
are
think
just
all the
kind
owners
of-
all want a cap.
I
think
would
so?
think they want.
I would think so. Control my expenses.
No, I think a floor would be the one. Like a floor would be where those cheap owners are like, "Fuck that." Like, I make money anyways. I don't care about my team being competitive. Why am I forced to spend a certain amount every year to make sure I'm competitive?
Yeah, it's where
that's
if you
not
put
my goal.
If
I
you
want
put a
money.
cap on it, then you can still spend the same of what you spend. There's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
you just can't go.
That's-
I'm never going
That's
to go
why
over
it's
that
going
cap.
to take so long because the cheap owners don't want a floor, the rich owners don't want a cap, and they're just going to butt
And then
heads
the
for
players
months.
don't want
The players don't want a cap.
a cap at all. Whether
And they
that's
could
a floor
care less
or
about a floor, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the lower tier players, I think, would want a floor because that ensures that, some bigger deals get forked out. But no, this is not going to have a conclusion for a long time. It's going to be just, we're going to forget about baseball, I think. It's just going to be such a clusterfuck.
Why hasn't the NFLPA ever tried to do that same thing and get rid of a cap in the NFL?
I don't know.
Well, you'd all of a sudden create super teams.
That's true.
Well, but that's what's going to
There's
happen
a
in
lot
baseball.
more. I would say
Well,
there's
that's
a lot more
already
players.
happening.
It's already
in
happened. Look at the
baseball.
Dodgers. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's true.
And then they don't have to pay him for like 2090.
Yeah, it's going to
Deferred
be
deals.
it's messy.
You're going to pay their grandkids.
Oh, it's very
It's
messy.
messy.
It's very messy, and baseball has been asking for this for a long time, and it's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lockout without a doubt in my mind, and it might take up the entire season. It's going to suck because the White Sox are just now getting good, or not good, but they have a lot of promise. It's not going to matter.
That's it, guys. That's all I got.
Nice job. Nicely done.
To go on to the NFL Week 16 preview, we've got our games that we circle that aren't on the Pick Ems or aren't on prime time, and then we will have our Pick Ems. But the first game that's kind of some weird implications of the Buccaneers losing to
Both teams are 7-7.
the Buccaneers losing to the Falcons, and then the Panthers basically controlling their own destiny
Panthers swept the Falcons.
with them, and then they lose to New Orleans,
Twice.
and now it's
They got swept by New Orleans.
so the first game, Buccaneers Panthers, just for division's sake. I think because they play two times.
They play this
in
week
the next 3
and
weeks.
then they played last week.
So it will really come down to, I think, whoever wins these two games against each other.
It will be.
And I think it could go either way with the way that Tampa is playing and with the way, I thought it was really funny as Mike Evans was, because he had a pretty good game. He had like almost 100.
He had like 130 yards or something like that.
And people kept, he's 800 away or he's 700 away. He can do
Mike.
it.
Come on, Mike. You can do it.
So that was pretty cool to see Mike back out there, and he looked like
really
he normally
He
does.
also almost paralyzed himself. Well, a player on the
it was
Falcons,
a
Kobe Bryant.
bad
almost
throw by
paralyzed
Baker
him.
too. He
It
put him
was.
in that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like we've kind of said, the Panthers either come out and look like they did against the Rams, or they come out and look like they did against the
Patriots.
Yeah. So you never know with them, but for the playoff implications and just who's going to get in, this sucks that I kind of like even your Bears, like one of these teams is going to get in over the. But that's the way the NFL is structured, and I'd rather have that than like a college football structure.
I think it's an easy fix though. Just don't guarantee
Yeah.
the first 4 seeds to division winners.
Yeah.
Guarantee them a playoff spot.
Yeah.
But NFC South should be the 7 seed. They, no way in hell should they be hosting a playoff game. I don't care if you won your shitty division with 4 of the worst teams in football all
Let
together.
them get in the playoffs, but they can't host. They can't have a host.
Well, and think about like the other, like the AFC East right now. That would fix the matchup of like, well, we're gonna have to play Buffalo the first week now. When, the Patriots and Buffalo will most likely be some of the best teams going into the playoffs.
They should be like a 2 and a 3 seed.
Yes, and then all of a sudden you're saving that matchup until a divisional game or until the AFC Championship instead of it being wild card weekend.
Yep.
So that's my take on that. Next game, Jaguars Broncos.
It's playoff implications.
This is also a big game, I think, for a lot of fantasy.
This is a massive game.
Because I think there's a lot of people who have either Cortland Sutton,
ETN,
Harvey. I have ETN. In my one league that we were alluding to me starting the Bengals.
Trevor Lawrence put up 44 last week.
He did.
6 touchdowns.
This is a big game for playoffs and just for, I think, fantasy. A lot of people are going to be watching this game. I really like I like the Broncos though at home. I think that D-line is going to be able to suffocate Trevor Lawrence. Because he either goes for 44 points, like you said, or he doesn't really do much.
He's a ticking time bomb, and he's he's on either side of the spectrum at any given week. It really
is
crazy.
pretty surprising, though, what they've been able to do, I think, without Travis Hunter and that offense. To, getting Jacoby Myers.
That trade was very helpful for them.
Yes, and he's been balling. He's been playing really well.
I saw a good take that so the Myers trade has actually helped out Brian Thomas Jr. a lot. And I think Brian Thomas Jr., I don't remember which analyst said it, but he's a much better Robin than he's a Batman. Like he is their deep threat. He's their complementary guy. Jacoby Myers goes over the middle, makes those tough catches that Brian Thomas was kind of getting clowned for, dropping and, just hearing the footsteps a little bit in the back of his head. But I think their offense is working. It's Liam Cohen. I think 3 brand new head coaches this year that turned their franchises around. Both of them had I think all 3 between the Bears, Patriots, and Jaguars. Jaguars had 3 or 4 wins. The Bears had 5. The Patriots had 4. All of them are in double digits now. 1 year later. Pretty crazy.
No, I definitely hear you. Yeah, look, I think, even for I'm a huge Liam Cohen fan. I like
Liam Cohen.
I think his just attitude and how he goes about it. He rides that fine line of being a dick and
he does
and kind of winning football games. So I also like what they're doing with ETN. They figured out how to use ETN when it comes to the passing game, and I really hope that I know it's the Broncos defense and I know they're really good. Yeah. But Travis Etienne,
please,
I need you one more time.
Sorry, Dawson, you got his performance of the year last week.
I know I did. Look, let me tell you, during my bye, I had James Cook with 3 touchdowns. I had I had Henderson with 30 points.
Chris, remind me what the law of averages is.
And I also had Travis Etienne with 30. I had 3 running backs get 30 points on my bye week. So I'm really hoping. Just come on, just one more week.
The law of averages, Dawson.
Don't say that.
The law of averages.
Jake said the same thing to me. And I'm like, please, just I don't want to
you're
talk
not like
about
those
it.
teams back a few years ago. When
Don't go one and done.
I don't
all
want
the
to
bye
talk about
teams
it.
ended up losing.
I don't want to talk about it. The next one, Steelers at the Lions. This one's big. For the Steelers, for the division, and for the Lions. They've got to win this game too. I think still have around a 40% chance to make it to the playoffs. I do like the Lions, though. I don't think the Steelers are very good. I know they beat up on the Dolphins, and that looked really bad.
Surprisingly, the last month of football, Rodgers in general has looked pretty good this year. Pretty damn good, but their team as a whole.
And just kind of...
They're old.
They're going to finish right at 500 again.
9-8, baby.
That's what's going to happen.
9-8.
I like the Lions. We're not picking it, but I like Jared Goff. They're at home. Jahmyr Gibbs, all those guys.
Williams has been.
Yeah.
I think he's top 10 in yards right now.
The other thing to talk just a little about the Lions is the fact that they don't have their tight end in Laporta.
Yeah.
Their offense has drastically changed not having Laporta with what they like to do.
It's almost changed for the better. And I think you need to find the balance next season to do both. Because, I do think there were a few games this season with, when their guys were fully healthy where it's they didn't really almost have an identity. It was a lot of... They weren't taking many shots, it felt like. And they were relying on the explosive plays through their running game and just, good blocking. Hopefully it springs like a 60-yard touchdown. But now, they are moving the ball down the field. And not to say that they haven't been at other times in the year, but like I said, like a few minutes ago, Jameson Williams has really turned into like when Gibbs isn't on the field, the number 2 option on that offense outside of St. Brown. They're going to be a scary team. We have to make sure that they don't get into the playoffs. We have to beat them week 18.
Their defense is riddled with injuries, but their offense is. I mean, they can go into a shootout with anyone, I like their chances when it comes to a shootout.
100%.
Do you think the influence though on Dan Campbell? Because remember, he played tight end. Do you think him being a tight end that he like has forced some of the offense to go that direction?
The other thing
because of that in him.
Well, I mean,
Dan Campbell started calling plays I want to say 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And since then, they lead in a lot of categories. So I think Dan Campbell should have always been calling plays. Obviously, not when Ben Johnson was there, but he probably should have been calling plays this entire season. And they might have like 10 wins right now.
Yeah, that offense is an offense I would not want to match up against in the playoffs. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. Their defense is very good, but like I said, if you get in a shootout with them, watch out because they could put up some points.
100%.
To get into our weekly picks, though, these are the prime time. We've got a Thursday night, Saturday night this week, Sunday night, and a Monday night. The first game, this is a huge game. Normally, we get some real shitters of
this
games
game is great.
on Thursday night towards the end of the year. This game could very well determine the division winner of this division, the Rams and the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Short week. I think the Rams with Devontae Adams probably not going to play. He got the hamstring. The D-line and the defense, the secondary for the Seahawks, I think are going to force them to have some problems.
Yep.
I do like the Rams though. Their defense is also very good. And this is another huge playoff or fantasy implication. If you got any of these running backs, whether that's Kyron Williams, Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, I would not be hesitant to maybe bench some of these guys because the D-line for the Rams and the D-line for the Seahawks and the linebacking crew, they've just not given up a lot of points to any running backs if you go look. And it really sucks for the people who are counting on some of those guys to put up some points. But yeah, normally, like I said, we get some really shitty games on Thursday night. This time of the year, this is going to be a great game. Yeah. And now it could also be very low scoring because of the division, implication, division teams knowing each other, and on a short week. I'm going to take the Seahawks though. I think they're at home.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
They're also wearing their new jerseys.
They are the rivalry.
The rivalry uniforms.
I did not realize when they first debuted them or showed the images of what the jerseys looked like that it had that monochromatic design on the helmet and the numbers. That's sick. That's really cool. I am taking the Seahawks as well, and I'm hoping starting this week, Rashid Shaheed, baby. He's been coming along. These last 2 games, he's become the number 2 option in their passing offense, but he has yet to score a touchdown. He's due, baby, just like Kyle Pitts was due last week.
Yeah,
Rashid Shaheed is due.
Quick story about Kyle Pitts. It was 5 minutes before the game started.
Oh, baby.
And Dylan texted me.
Woo!
Dylan texted me, said, who should I start? Kyle Pitts or Isaiah Likely? And I was like, I don't know. Likely kind of has a decent matchup. Playing against the Bengals, and he had a really good game. I know he fumbled in the end zone. They're going to use him. But what about Kyle Pitts? And I remember you like, okay, I'm going with Kyle Pitts. And let me tell you, if you would have started Likely, you would have lost that league without Kyle Pitts?
We won by 35. And so Likely got 0.
Likely got 0, and Kyle Pitts had
45.
Yeah.
So we would have lost by 10.
So, yeah, I know. Yeah. As I was watching that game, I was like, hey, Dylan made the right choice. Thank God. And then when Likely had 0, it made it even more.
Thank you, Kyle Pitts.
But anyway, no, the next game, Saturday night, we've got a Saturday night game, your game. Both of our teams are on primetime this week. This is the first time both of our teams have been on the Pick Ems. Second, maybe? Not too many.
Second time.
But both of our teams are on the primetime. You play the Packers Saturday night. I think, again, we've been hyping this up. It's in Soldier Field.
Handle business, baby.
All the Packers fans that gave you shit. I think it was a great game first time around. It's going to be a lot different because of Micah Parsons.
We didn't lose the game last time. We just ran out of time.
You could say that.
We just ran out of time.
I'm gonna take the Bears though. And I'm gonna take the Bears because of the Micah Parsons injury.
Yeah.
I just think that really changes how they're going to be able to run the ball, how they're going to be able to pass the ball. Because I know Micah, he lines up on all sides of the field. So there's play calling.
Oh, he
gonna
plays like 3 or 4 different positions.
It's going to change a lot, and for that reason, the way the Bears kind of lost, I think they're going to be able to run the ball, get after Jordan Love better than what they did because he had all day to throw the first time they played.
Very comfortable.
I think they're going to try to fix that. They're going to try to change that, whether that's bringing more pressure, try to get him off
in
his
the
spot.
secondary too, as well.
Yeah, because Jalen Johnson, he didn't play or no?
Johnson played, but that was the game. Kyler Gordon got hurt in warmups, and we're not going to have him again this game, but we are getting healthier. TJ Edwards is back. Tremaine Edmonds hopefully is back. And our pass rush is starting to look a little better. And so I do think, all things considered, I mean, I'm obviously taking the Bears too, but for good reason. Besides, even with Micah Parsons, because I do think that the Bears had a good chance of beating them even with Micah Parsons healthy. Just because of what I saw in that second half, I do think they come out firing on all cylinders this time. They're at home. They're going to have the crowd behind them. But quite honestly, now that Micah Parsons is hurt, I kind of do expect us to bully the Packers a little bit. And they need to. I think this is where this is your statement game for the entire season. If you can beat them by 2 touchdowns or more, the whole league is thinking about you a lot differently. Because the league, regardless of Parsons getting hurt, you think the Packers Super Bowl conversations have died down at all? No. They're the league's golden child, right on top with the Rams and the Broncos and everything. I mean, the Patriots, the Bills, they are, the NFL's baby boy. They have been for a long time. And this is where it ends, guys. This is our time.
I have a question about last week. So did Caleb Williams fall down and let Myles Garrett touch him for one of his sacks? It looked like, was that a Brett Favre moment,
snap.
like what he did with Strahan? That was... Because then, that had to be the easiest sack of his whole career.
Yeah, the other one he got that game, he did have to work for. But that one that you were talking about, he only got half a sack on.
Okay.
Yeah, he only got half a sack.
He is going to break it, though. And
he's going to break it.
I think one
he's
sack
one
away.
sack. He's at 22. The record is 22 and a half.
He has 3 games left.
I think he'll get like 25.
He's going to get 25. He's going to get 25.
Yeah.
It's insane.
My game, Sunday night, this got flexed.
This is a big game for y'all.
Patriots at the Ravens.
You can knock the Ravens out of the playoffs, I think.
Knock the Ravens out of the playoffs. Also, this, I think, is just a big game for what happened last week.
Oh, yeah.
Just to kind of really build something going into the postseason. Are you
getting anyone back healthy this week? Is anyone coming back?
I believe we're getting Spillane,
Spillane,
our guy who everyone says looks like Voldemort. Because he suited out against the Bills. He just didn't play a single down. Like he had his helmet on the sideline. He just didn't play.
Interesting.
No, this is a get right game for us. This is a game to go in and to knock out and to beat. I mean, we've already beat Josh Allen. I know we lost to him last week, but to beat 2 past MVPs, it'd be big. Mm-hmm. Run the ball. Their defense running the ball, or their run defense has not been the best. Keep Henderson. Keep feeding him.
Absolutely.
Run. Drake may run when you need to. I'm excited for this game just because it's on primetime, because I always, I like watching my team when it's in the spotlight.
It's great when there's no other games going on and your team is the one playing on primetime. Because it's like, there's nothing else that can distract me at all from this.
So yes, I'm going to take the Patriots. We've got to win this one, and then we've got the Giants, or not the Giants, the Jets and Quinn Ewers Dolphins to wrap up the season.
Win this game, and you might be able to, depending on like seeding, and if you're worried, because I think you can clinch the AFC East this week.
Yeah.
You might just end up resting some starters and trying to get as healthy as you possibly can for round 1 of the playoffs if the Broncos keep winning and 1 seed is no longer an option.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting finish. I'm back and forth because the Ravens are playing with their back against the wall at home right now, and I'm gonna take the Patriots. I do think they do have a bit of a. They kind of alluded to it. They were missing that killer instinct last week, and I do think hopefully they learned from it and they'll be able to put the Ravens away. The Ravens aren't a great football team this year. They're not, and I think Lamar isn't playing fully healthy. I think that's a big part of it. But they don't have an identity on offense. They're not running Derrick Henry enough, and they're telegraphing their offense way too much. It's like when Derrick Henry's on the field, 80% of the time it's a run. That makes it so goddamn easy for defenses, and that's why I love play callers like Ben Johnson and Sean McVay and Shanahan so much, because they give you a bunch of different things all at once, and it could be 4 different plays, but it all looks the same.
Is that Derrick Henry's fault, or is that the?
No, it's not Derrick Henry's fault. It's 100%. The Ravens offense in general, and Trump, the guy that we play with every once in a while, big Ravens fan, he agrees. It's just their offense is so predictable. It's like based on what their personnel is on the field, you know what the play is going to be, and that's never a good thing.
Well,
so I can't blame Lamar. I can't blame Derrick Henry. That's coaching.
Yeah. It's probably easy to catch that on film, too.
It is.
The amount of film that these guys watch, study, and go into game planning.
The other team is looking at their film every week and going, oh, okay, so when they do this, it's this.
Yeah.
Oh, when this guy's out here, they do that.
And they don't do anything different to change or to have any illusion that it could be something different.
For as much shit as Mike Tomlin gets for doing the exact same thing a lot with like not making adjustments, the Ravens are just as bad. Equally as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
It's not a recipe for success. So give me the Pats.
We love to hear it.
Yes, sir.
Last game, 49ers, Colts, Monday night.
Grandpa.
Yeah, Grandpa.
He looked, dude. Can we talk about Phillip Rivers? He led that game-winning drive. That was a game-winning drive by a 44-year-old grandpa against one of the best defenses in the league in their house. If the Colts defense holds for 2 plays, it stands.
He also had some moments though, like the drop back to where he fell down, and it was like, that was funny as shit. That's really bad.
That was funny as shit.
So he had his moments on the good and the bad. It was really funny, but I think even to all the people who are, this is a disgrace, and how could you get Phillip Rivers over Cam Newton or over these other, he put that to bed because you almost just beat the Seattle Seahawks, who are fighting for the 1 seed right now.
With a week of preparation.
Yeah.
I was just happy that of all the names got thrown out there that said, why didn't you pick this guy? They didn't throw Kaepernick's name out there before.
Oh my God.
Like he
People
wasn't even
are
in the
literally
conversation.
arguing like this is a disgrace and then you don't even like their head coach literally coached Phillip Rivers. Like there was more than just of, hey, who can we go get?
Yeah. Well, not only that, Phillip Rivers and Steichen are friends. And on top of that, Phillip Rivers is the coach for his son's high school football team, and they ran the exact same scheme as the Colts. And so him and Steichen would meet during the season and talk about different ways that Phillip Rivers can, implement some of their stuff into the offense. He literally just plug and played. He knew
it made sense.
Could you imagine the high school players that had him as a coach that probably sat and watched that game
They
going, that's our friggin' coach.
They had a watch party and they kept on showing it during the game.
Go look up Phillip Rivers' son. That kid's going to be a stud, hopefully. But they're running the offense in high school that will get him prepared for, a college system and an NFL system.
That's great.
Yeah, it's Phillip Rivers' transition was seamless.
With all that being said, though, I'm taking the 49ers.
I'm taking the Colts. Give me Phillip Rivers, baby. AJ, I'm with you, big dog.
I don't see.
Phillip Rivers is back. Jonathan Taylor probably is the reason they win this game. But
I want Phillip Rivers. I'm not picking these, but I want Rivers.
After the 49ers and how they looked against the Titans last week, I have no faith in hell that the 49ers defense is healthy enough to stop even a decent offense. And the Colts have a lot on offense to worry about. Their O-line.
Hey, did you hear though? Didn't Rivers say after the game, just imagine if you gave me a full week of prep, what I'm going to...
No,
never mind. That was Shedeur Sanders.
That was Shedeur. They're going to win this game. The Colts are going to win.
I just don't trust.
I love it.
I don't trust.
Colts are going to win.
Old man Phillip. I enjoy watching it. It was funny, but... I'm
it's just a temporary fix. It's just a Band-Aid.
I had such a big smile on my face when I was watching Phillip Rivers
drive
down that field.
No, when he threw that first touchdown, the way that he did the whole Tiger Woods fist pump,
awesome.
And that was like, God, what a dream.
I know Jonathan was sitting in his seat as a Seahawks fan, just like,
well, because he texted us and was like, because me and him both had a bye, and he was like, yeah, we just get to watch our team this week, and I was like, yeah, it'd be a real shame if Phillip Rivers comes in and beats you guys. And so that was, and he texted after the game, and he was like, oh my God, that was weird.
But what do you think, though, of all his kids, grandkids?
How
how many kids in his family, though, finally, they got to see Grandpa or whoever play,
he talked about
and now they can remember it?
His younger daughters were too young to remember him playing. So it was 5 years ago. He's got kids that I think are like 7, stuff like that.
So that's pretty cool.
He's got enough to fill a whole one side of the ball.
He's got 12 kids. 11,
what?
12 kids? Oh, yeah.
13
kids, maybe.
That's up
Like
there.
all with the same, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're a big Catholic family.
Clearly.
2 words, Chris, that never gets said in that household. birth control ever.
The joke is he could field one side of the ball.
Yeah, he's got a practice
So
field.
it's
He's got
like
a full
12,
skill
like
practice
what,
field.
cheaper by the dozen or that one?
Absolutely. He's got a
real
full
life.
skill practice field at his house. He lines his sons out wide. He's got his daughters doing the whole line.
That's
The mom's
hilarious.
probably the center.
They've got enough to field one side of the
That's
ball.
crazy.
The dad bod is great as well. And
Yeah,
he
that
did
was-
not. Someone asked him in his press conference before the game, it's like, how much do you think you weigh right now? And it's like, I have no idea. But it was more than when I stepped off the field in 2020.
It was pretty funny. I mean, that'd be like
great.
you going out there right now.
Oh, I know. I can't even imagine. Like, I can't imagine. Oh, I'm going to go suit up. What I would look like in just the pants alone.
He looked hilarious. Like yeah. It was it was not a appealing sight. It was not very flattering for him.
Just imagine if he beat the Seahawks. Was it in Seattle?
Yeah, it was in Seattle.
Oh, man.
Seattle
those
didn't score a
fans.
touchdown. They scored 6 field goals to win.
Oh, that's
They won by 2.
wow.
It was almost
He
great.
almost did it.
Well, I hope he gets a dub this week
He's
against the
gonna get it.
49ers. That'd be great.
He's gonna get
I
it.
don't think you will, guys.
He's gonna get it.
The bet. We'll wrap up today's show like we do every week. Bet of the week. I again did not. We're it's early in the week. I normally find some, but all these lines are getting really. I will have mine on our graphic. I didn't want to cop out. I did not want to have a cop out. I like to do
See what
my
happens when he
research.
cop out? I took Jamar Chase touchdown and he doesn't score again.
Exactly
Oh
my point.
God.
So I will have mine on our graphic that we post every week on Instagram. I know Dylan has his, so I'll let him. But mine will be on the graphic. I did not want to cop out.
So this goes in turn with kind of what I mentioned with Micah Parsons being out and the Bears probably bullying the Packers a little bit on Saturday. Caleb Williams' passing line is at 212 passing
That's
yards.
low.
It is. It's very low. And not that he's been astronomically, passing this every week, but I mean, he does get this more times than not, unless, the game plan is just run the ball. But it's not going to be frigid and like ice cold in Chicago this week. It's going to be cold, but you saw last week. I mean, it was minus 20 wind chill, and Caleb finished with like 260 yards and 2 touchdowns. Should have had more out of drops. So yeah, 212 passing yards should be able to get that, especially with more time in the pocket.
Is Dunze going to be back? I know he's been out the past couple weeks.
We don't know. He didn't practice yesterday, and he might not practice today, but he just needs to log one full. But DJ Moore will be more involved. Luther Burden has really started to. A little fun tidbit. So of the past 2 full draft classes, guess who the number 1 and number 2 ranked pass catchers are?
Dunze and
Luther Burden and Colson Loveland.
okay.
Both of them.
And you were
Colson Loveland, I was not the
were
happiest
not a
person
fan
in the
of
world
that.
just because I didn't really watch Michigan much. And I didn't know about Colson Loveland. All I saw was, like, yeah, he's a big target, but it's like, what are you guys seeing in him? I'm seeing what I saw in him. He is...
That's crazy because he never caught a ball at
he's
Michigan.
a slightly smaller Sam Laporta.
That
in
guy
my
is a
opinion.
dude. Oh, he's bigger than Sam Laporta. He's 6'6".
Well, I mean, like weight wise.
Oh,
I think
yeah, yeah,
Laporta
yeah.
definitely is bigger. Than
He has potential to be a top 5 tight end soon. And he just needs more volume because he doesn't have a single drop this year. But yeah, Caleb Williams, 212 passing yards, give me it. And he's got the pass catchers to do it, like what I just brought up. So we shall see. Hopefully we win too. That'd be great.
I didn't realize how big Caleb Williams is.
He's
He's a
6'3".
big, yeah, but he's thick too.
Oh, he is. He's like
a big
6'3",
guy.
240.
Yeah, I don't-
He's very big.
I
It's
didn't realize
that's
he's
me.
just-
That's
he's
like
big.
my size.
He's very strong and very like
He
he is.
just look when he's all dressed,
Oh, yeah.
suited out. He's thick.
He is, and he. What do you mean by that, Chris?
No, I mean, when you see him run down the field, you're just like,
No,
holy
seriously.
crap! Like,
And he's fast, too.
Yeah, like linebackers see that and go, oh shit, man, I
Of
don't want to tackle him.
of the top, I think 20 fastest ball carriers this year, like quarterback wise, Caleb Williams has I think 7 of the fastest runs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But onto our cut bet of the week. By the way, use code i75Live if you guys are, thinking of joining. And it's a really cool site. It is. And
There's so many different bets
you can
do.
bet on anything. And they
Literally
have
everything.
social forums. They made a post about it earlier this week, actually, talking about how, there's a lot of financials going into betting and it's turning really into a business. And it's not necessarily what betting used to be,
Yeah.
which is all about, like banter and competition, rivalries, talking with your friends before, during, after the game. Cutbet really does, offer all of that. They have chat rooms. You can make group chats and groups of different bets. And there's just, and the fact that you can bet on anything. And it's very, like we say every week, the possibilities are endless with Cutbet.
I'd rather do that than get into a fantasy league where half your players get injured. Like, it'd be
I bet
more
they'll
fun
have
to get a group of guys together and we just
too.
bet every week.
They'll probably do fantasy football. And honestly, guys, if you're listening, you should. I think Sim is your name? Simeon? Definitely look into doing fantasy football because Sleeper does the same thing. Sleeper has like a betting side, and they also have fantasy football.
Yeah.
So you guys are starting to find your niche, and we're here for it. But our cut bet of the week is Lions-Steelers over 52.5 points. Over. And I do think it's going to be, I think Steelers defense is good, but I don't think they have TJ Watt back again. And say what you want about Detroit and their recent issues, but
They know how to put up points.
they know how to put up points. And their issues are on defense, which means the Steelers are also going to put up points. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a really good game. Aaron Rodgers, last time probably playing the Lions, and he loves playing the Lions.
Yeah.
So it's over 52.5 points. I'm not falling for that 52 points again. I'm not taking the under. Every time I've done it, it's just shot me in the foot.
Yeah. No, well, that will wrap up today's episode. Thank you again, all the comments. It was great. Keep them coming. We love having conversations. Have conversations though, and we had some good. We last week we told people if you're gonna make fun of us, be creative, and we had some creative comments making fun of us as well.
I got called the R word.
Yeah, by a guy who
Thank you for your service.
a recent
That's all I'll say.
military vet.
Thank you for your
And
service.
yeah, that's what we'll say about that.
I will take your legs though.
If only you knew what that meant.
He knows.
But yes, no, thank you again, and keep all the comments coming. We love talking, and enjoy football this weekend. We got a lot of great games, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Sir, it's been real, guys.